It's been way too long since I last made a video on megaminx, and today I guess it's probably the perfect time to do it because there's almost half a month left before my next competition and I want to make cutoff for megaminx. So I think this week I want to learn all of the last layer stuff for last layer, because right now I pretty much only know a beginner's method version of last layer on megaminx, kind of a little bit similar to the beginner's method of 3x3, and I actually want to learn the 2-look OLL and PLL. So let's start off with what I currently average on megaminx after a little bit of practice. So I think a lot of these were basically off camera, but aside from this DNF, which I ended up messing up on last layer because I was still using that beginner's method last layer, I've basically been averaging around 3 minutes. I actually got a PB of 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so that was pretty good. And I haven't really practiced megaminx much since, so I think today I actually do want to start practicing it a little bit more. I guess to test out a little bit, let's do one solve. Okay, so I ended up getting a 3 minute and 50 second solve, so it is kind of just around what I typically get at this time on, so it isn't really a bad solve, but not really that great of a solve if I'm trying to get my solves a little bit better. So I think I'm starting to get more into averaging that a little bit, but I think now I feel like at this certain point on, I think to go a little bit faster than 2 minutes and 40 seconds, I actually want to start learning all of those 2-look OLLs and PLLs to figure out what will work well. So I guess in the top section I have here, this is actually the video that I got recommended to use, the one by James McDermott, and I think I might end up using that. What I kind of wish there was though is a megaminx OLL or PLL trainer, because apparently those don't exist. Because I feel like I kind of like using these trainers to actually practice the algorithms, but some of these algorithms are pretty much stuff I already know, so it's just I need to get used to learning recognition for them. And there's also some other tutorials from Matthew Cubes, Sandra. I think I was also debating on using this one as well. Oh, this is the permutation one, so this is PLL. I think I probably might have just figured out something that I could do to, I guess, compensate for the fact that there are no 2-look OLL or PLL trainers for megaminx. I think it's just the fact that I noticed that some of the algorithms are direct inverses of each other, so that if I do one algorithm, then to undo that is just do the inverse of that algorithm. So maybe what I could probably do is pretty much just spam those until I can get those into my muscle memory. Obviously, I think the one obvious thing that you could do it with is the soons, because, well, this is one of the soons I just did anti-soon right now, and then if I just do this, it solves it. Okay, so I did a little bit of trying to just practice with the algorithms, and I think right now I'm kind of in that state where I do still need to figure out what case that I'm getting and having to look at exactly the case on the video before I end up actually solving it. I guess for some certain cases, maybe I could just do spam soons until I get one case of it, but I actually do want to learn those algorithms so that I don't have to do that. And that will probably save a lot of time if I actually do know those algorithms. I might continue doing this off camera because I feel like maybe on camera it might be a little bit difficult to do that, especially since I'm recording myself doing all of these things, trying to learn these OLL algorithms, and yeah, I feel like it might be a little bit easier to just do it off camera and see how I will end up learning it. So maybe I'll do a little bit of updates right now, but I think I'm doing some good progress on it. I already know some of the algorithms already, and I think one of the two corner ones, that one of them uses like R moves, I think I got the hang of it because it's a really short algorithm. I think it's only like 7 moves, 7 or 8 moves, I'm pretty sure. I'll put the actual number up here if I do remember it, but like it's such a short algorithm that I think doing it a bunch of times actually helped me learn it easily. I kind of just wish there was an actual megaminx trainer so that I wouldn't have to, I guess, just spam the cases by doing the inverse of that algorithm and trying to recognize it from different angles. So yeah, for second thought, I literally could just go to SpeedQGB and then there's actually pictures of each case that I want to do. So I think that's probably gonna be easier than having to scroll through the video to find exactly what case I want to be doing. Okay, so we're on these two algorithms here, corner orientation number 15 and number 16, and I am getting to almost that point where I'm able to do these algorithms without having to look at the algorithms or the cases. And I guess what particularly helps with this is that these two cases are inverse of each other. So yeah, I am still messing up a little bit with the execution of these algorithms sometimes, but for most part I've actually been getting good with these algorithms within the past half an hour. So I think we're actually making some good progress here now to do them with the rest of them. So I think it's mainly just some recognition that I need to work on. Okay, so I think that will be pretty much it in terms of two-look OLL. I guess I'm gonna be continuing tomorrow with trying to get more of those OLLs into muscle memory, and more importantly also learning the two-look PLL. Today, I'm gonna get started on learning the corner and edge permutations for PLL for megaminx, and I think what I also want to do today is just continue practicing a bit more. So I'm just gonna try to get started with the process of learning these algorithms. So I'm not gonna really fully learn them yet because obviously it does take a little bit of time to actually go ahead and get all of these algorithms into my muscle memory, so probably will take more than a few days. But I think what I want is to do these 2 days for is to actually get started on doing it, trying to get at least a few algorithms set in my mind. But I was also thinking earlier today, I feel like I still need to focus a little bit more on trying to efficiently find pieces, because I think, as I said in previous videos about this, or I guess the last Getting Good at Megaminx episode, I was talking about how because of the fact that pieces can be anywhere on Megaminx, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find them at first because they can be anywhere. So I want to try to make sure I can make that as efficient as I can before I start learning these algorithms, or I guess also while doing it at the same time now that I'm actually learning these. These are all of the algorithms that I will need to learn. This is the edge permutation. There's only 5 of them. 2 of them I already pretty much know. This is a J perm. This is probably something I need to learn, especially this edge permutation one that at the end that uses both L and R moves, and then this one that kind of looks like a U perm but is definitely not a U perm, and all of the corner permutations, which there's 15 of them, and they're a little bit long and they use a bit of the like back R moves and stuff, so I will need to figure out how to do them. I do still need to work on the corner orientation first because I already pretty much got these ones pretty much learned. I guess I can just say I learned them, so I know that I already did. But I think the ones I also want to work on right now are these 2 corner orientation algorithms, which these are just the pi cases on 3x3, but I think a little bit of what confuses me a little bit with these algorithms are how these have R and U moves. So like the second and fourth moves are prime moves or counterclockwise moves, and then the next 2 moves after that R2 is also counterclockwise. So that is something that I will need to get used to. I think I'm starting to get the hang of the pi algorithms. I think I'm actually getting used to those R2 primes and the U primes there. So I think I'm starting to get used to it a bit more. But I'm just gonna keep practicing these for now and then go for maybe start with the edge permutations. I think that might be something that I would probably be doing after that, and then do some solves. I think I kind of have an idea for at least the time being when I don't really know all of the corner permutation algorithms yet. You know how I said earlier where the edge permutation algorithms are kind of a little bit easier to learn at this current moment or something, because some of the algorithms for it are not really long, and one of them are like pretty much something I already learned. I think once I do the little practice I'm gonna be doing like after this, I want to try to at least use 2 of those corner permutation algs, so that so I don't have to keep doing students just to get the edges where I wanted to. And this way I could probably also avoid doing the beginner's method orienting the corners part, and all I would need to do is just basically just treat it as if I already have the things solved, but I just need to move the corners basically. Okay, so I just ended up getting a 2-minute and 50-second solve, so I think this is actually my 3rd sub 3 solve on megaminx so far. So yeah, that was actually quite interesting. Okay, just finished that solve, and it was definitely 2 times slower, or almost 2 times slower than my last one. I literally tried to use some of the algs I already learned, and I am debating on whether or not that's really a good idea, because now that I think of it, it kind of slowed me down a lot. But then again, like halfway through I ended up messing up on the algorithm, then having to keyhole to put one of the corners back in because it took the corner out of its slot. I don't know if that was much of a great idea to do. Update from almost a month later, I'm guessing. I forgot when I recorded this footage from before that I've been editing for about 2 weeks now, but I went to La La Land 2024 and I didn't end up making cutoff for megaminx. I ended up going over the time limit for the first solve and not making cutoff on the second solve, so I literally only have 1 successful solve on megaminx. But I haven't really been practicing megaminx that much after most of this footage that I have just recorded here. I actually kind of do want to practice megaminx a lot more. I have been really busy ever since college has started, and also recording and editing other videos for my second channel, but I do want to get back into practicing megaminx a lot more and trying to get better at it, because I feel like because of how similar it is to 3x3, it's just a lot more pieces being in different places. I feel like I could get better at it, and I feel like one focus that I've been wanting to focus on a lot more is focusing on where pieces can go and trying to efficiently find pieces. And I want to combine that obviously with doing the OLLs and PLLs so that I don't have to rely much on beginner's method, but I feel like also a bulk of that time could be shaved off by knowing where pieces are and being able to look ahead and find them without having to rotate the cube so much. So that is what I pretty much want to focus on in the next few weeks and maybe even the next episode for this. So yeah, I think with that, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.